Hello there. In this video we are going to be taking a look at problem 13 in the Intro to CAD problem set. Now if you're looking at this looks like it's kind of terrifying, but it's really not that bad. If you can do a little math and follow the lines and read dimensions, you're going to be okay. This is a toughie. It's going to take a little bit of time, but let's start working through it. We're going to draw this half right over here, and then we're going to mirror it. So we're only drawing one half of this object. So we're going to start with this line right here, the 3.13 inch line. So let's come up and let's give it a go here. So let's see, 3.13. Okay, and then that is up 0.95. We will come back and we will do the fillets and the chamfers later. So 0.95. Okay, and then this line right here, I had to do a little math all the way out to the edge, is 2.83. Now we go down 4.08. Okay, so now we're there. Now we're going to go out 0.63. We're going to go down 9.5. Not 9.5 inches, 0.95. There we go, it's more like it. We're going to be coming back there. And now, again, a little math. This next line is 4.35. Okay, the next one we got coming out here is 1.88. Down 1.25. Oh, looks like we didn't get attached there. Let's come back. Let's make sure we're on the right 1.88, right? Okay. And that is 1.25. And then another 1.88 back in here. We'll just okay, and then it is 4.08 plus 0.33. Let's do a little math here. 4.08 plus 0.33, 4.41. All right, now we come 0.88 plus 33. Again, a little math. Let's see, that's 12, 2.21 inches over. 2.21. Okay, now it looks like we go up 1.21. And then it looks like we go over 0.95. Looks like we go up, let's see, 2.46 minus 1.21 would be 5. 1.25. Okay, and then we come in 1.58. All right, and then we go up one last time, 1.25. And then we come in 1.23. Now I'm just going to see how close we got here. We're just a wee bit off, but I feel confident that this is going to dimension out right. So now let's come in and do our fillets. Okay, the rounded edges. And as it says in the notes here, all of the fillets are 0.38. So that's going to be pretty easy. So what we can do is come back to our fillets, and we're going to do 0.38 inches. Okay, and we come back. Now we just start knocking these guys in here. Alright, now what we need to do is we need to do this chamfer here, down here, and that is 0.33 on both lines. 0.33. Alright, come over here. You get that guy. Here we have our chamfer, and now this guy is a little bit more of a challenge. Because we have two different chamfer dimensions. So I'm going to choose to put 0.63 as the first line, and I'm going to choose to put 0.95 as the second line. Now it just all depends on which one you click first. So I'm going to click this one first, this one second, and that looks like it is right. So now what we are going to do is we're going to mirror this guy over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. We're going to come back to our mirror command. And here's our piece right here. Now we're hoping that we did everything right, but now what we're going to do is we're going to draw our circles in. So we know that this row of circles is 5.95. It's centered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line that's 5.95. I'm going to draw a line right down the center first. Okay, here's our line right down the center. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it up just a little bit. Now I'm going to draw another line that's 5.95 inches long. Okay, and I'm going to come over here. I'm going to drop it right on the end point. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one line straight down to the bottom of the piece. So now I know that these circles live on that line, so I can delete these other guys, and everything is measured from the bottom up. So I'm going to draw a line that's 3.75 inches off the bottom. 3.75 inches off the bottom. Okay. And now I can get rid of this line. So these circles are all 0.5 inches diameter. So I'm going to come over here, diameter 0.5. That looks a little small. So what I'm going to do is let's take a look and see what 1 inch diameter looks like. Let's look and see. We might need to change our dimensions just a little bit. I'm going to say this looks pretty close. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a few more lines, and I'm going to come up, and this next one is 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches, and I'm going to bring this circle out. I'm going to copy it out. I'm going to copy it to use again. Drag it here. Now our next circles are 2.51 inches above. 2.51 inches. Okay. Use this guy right there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete him. I'm going to select this whole thing, and I'm just going to drag him right there. And that looks like we have our circles in place. So let's just leave this for now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select these circles and we're going to mirror them over. So let's give it a try. Right on center. There we go. There's our circles. So now I think we are ready to do a little dimensioning. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the center line that goes right down the center is a bad center line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new one. Because remember, we want to do things right. Okay, so you've done this. If you've been doing these projects, you've done these quite a few times now. So we're going to do it right. Oh, that one didn't get flipped around very well. So here we go. Now we'll give this guy a group. Now we're going to come in and there's our center line. Now what we're going to do is come in and drop our center points in. And now we're going to start dimensioning this guy. So let's do this point. Let's do this guy that's sitting off over here, 0.95, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag him up just a little bit. There we go. Now let's start. Alright, now I'm going to move, I think I'm going to need to move this guy over just a little bit. Okay, so now let's do, now we're going to do that guy. I'm going to move him over just a little tiny bit. Okay, now we're going to do this guy right here, and you notice we're going to start getting into that title block up there, or the watermark. That's okay. We'll keep going and then we'll move it. So now let's see. Now we got that 1.88 dimension to go. So we're gonna do him right there. Okay. I'm just gonna put him right about there. Good. Okay. And we'll fix that. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to start working down the side. There's a lot of dimensions here, but there's a lot of lines. So let's do this. And I'm going to move him, or I'm going to leave him right there. That's okay. Now I'm going to put the arrows inside, and you can, if you don't like this, notice you can come over here to the dimension object info palette, and you can say arrows inside. Okay, let's see if sometimes it doesn't let you do it. So it's not liking that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him right here. Okay, 0.95. Now let's see. Now let's do this guy right here. Okay, now we're going to do the 4.08. And it's going to be right there. Okay, and now we're going to do this longer dimension. 9 point. Okay, we're off just a little bit there, but 2/100ths of an inch for what we're doing, I can live with that. Let's do our next dimension here. Okay. Now we got another dimension right there. have this last little dimension. I'm gonna line him up right there, and I'm gonna pull that 0.33 out. Okay, now we're gonna start down on the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna do, let's see, our next one. It's gonna get crowded here. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this guy down, this number down just a little bit, and we'll see how that works. It's a challenge when you're dimensioning a drawing with a lot of dimensions to try and get it all to fit, and it's tough. And this is one of those drawings, so that makes it really important that you read when you're building it, to read it correctly. Let's see. So now we got this guy here. A lot of dimensions. Okay, I'm going to pull this guy down. Okay, and now we got this last dimension right here. 1.17. Now we have a dimension right in here. 1.25. We got this guy all the way down to the bottom. Oh, he dimensioned wrong, so let's pull him up. And then we have the last dimension right here. Okay, let's see, now we just have to dimension our circles. Alright, here we go. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something quick. I know this video is getting kind of long, but with dimensions, there's a couple tools up here. Okay, and the one I'm going to show you is constrained chain mode. Okay, now I could go in and make all those dimensions individually, but watch this. I've changed to chain mode, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to come back and dimension this guy, pull them out, and then you notice how they all kind of form right there, and then you double click to finish. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to drag these guys out to about there. Okay, that's not working right. Alright, let me okay, drag him in there, and we drag him in there. Alright, so there we have, looks like we have all of our dimensions in there. So now I'm going to zoom out just a little bit and see if we can work this guy into the whole page. I'm thinking we can. There's a lot of stuff here, a lot of dimensions, so let's see what we can do. It looks like we'll just make it, which is okay. The only thing we have left to do here is we have to put our notes in with our text. So we're going to start our text, and we're going to just type our notes in. All fillets and rounds are 0.38 inches. All 8 holes are, and we have to either do a diameter, or we're just going to do a DIA, which is another way to note diameter. And remember, we changed that dimension to 1 inch, so we're going to go 1.00 inches through. And remember, the through note is that will tell the person building it that these holes get drilled through. So this is our project. This is a toughie. There's a lot here We can take a look at it. It's looking pretty good. It's not perfect, but for the purposes of for to get you going, these dimensions are very close, within hundredths of an inch. And while I'm not crazy about it, you would make yourself crazy finding the 100th of an inch in this whole thing. So hopefully this will help you to create this problem and get it done. Let me know if you have any questions, but I look forward to seeing you in problem 14.